Hi, so good afternoon. Hi, this is Ken O from Canton Chambers, Louis. This is a Facebook Live. I think this is a fifth or sixth. I cannot remember. In any way, uh, thank you for all. And then I know for many people support us, and then more people joining to us. And then today, our topic is for family category. And then family categories are quite like some broad, but I can say a family category in the temporary visa category there, and there's a residence visa category there. Today we are going to more about for doesn't classify of residence visa or temporary visa. We just like a focus on for relationship with a family category means, especially for the partnership basis. Some people say, okay, ask for what's a family category there, and there's a meaning of the family. And then can I understand of my uncle, aunt, or grandmother, grandfather is also included as a family? But they some ask for questions, and then I said no. Family category means for definition of the family is for direct family, means that mother and father and then children. This is a family in the definition. So even though some country based on for concept quite like some broad range of the family meaning, and then we call other people like direct family. Out of direct family is we call this is relevant. So uncle aunt cannot be included in this definition of the family. And then family category is like in New Zealand for parent category, and then children like a dependent children. There is also some other categories there, but this is all the removed, and then we're not going to talk other cases for under the family category. The range of cover range is for parent, and then partners, and then children. Only for three it will be like some included here. So in New Zealand is legal systems like a common law system, means for case law system. Some legal documentation to prove marriage is important. However, in New Zealand, that document itself is not enough to prove your relationship. So in New Zealand, we can prove for your actual, real, practical relationship shall be proved when you apply for any visa status. Hi, so Maxil and then Tina. Okay, welcome to join us. And then, okay, I'll go keep doing. So in New Zealand, if you apply for family category, you have to prove this relationship. For example, in a parents category, then you have to prove for what is the parent and then children. That can be usually used as a birth certificate or family relationship certificate. Some countries, such as for Japan and Korea, they got some family relationship certificate. Some other country doesn't have any family relationship certificate. So that means if you show your birth certificate, there is a mom and dad's name, mother and father's names. It can be proof as a relationship. And then children can be also use your birth certificate, and it's a family relationship certificate. You can use it. And many difficulties for, or maybe many people will interest in for relationship between for partners, right? Then I'll give you some definition for in a New Zealand side, right? And many people are confused for a relationship or partners, so like a husband, wife, and then that means. So I can briefly explanation for okay, uh, male friend, female friend. means like a different sex, but like some for friends each other. Some country, okay, like a male friend, they call this my like a boyfriend. Like a female friend, this is like a girlfriend. But in New Zealand, this is a different meaning. So the purely friends from a different sex, then we call this a male friend. Female friend is a more clear definition. And it's if you got a more closer each other, and then exclusive relationship start, then you can call this is my boyfriend, and this is my girlfriend. Means for you got some exclusive relationship. Means for sometimes you like friends, sometimes you date, sometimes you go for outing, sometimes you go for like travel together, and then sometimes got some relationship together. But however, the male and female, they got their own living places, and then for when they travel or when they like some date or like some eating together, go to cinema together, go to movie together, then go back to their own living places. Then we call this as a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. And then if they get more closer, then they start to living together, then we call this as a partnership. This is the real relationship start. The man moved to like a woman's house, or woman like moved to the man's house, or they got a third party rent or lease, and then or buy the house and then move together and then start living together. Then we call start for partnership is a start. So under the partnership, and there are two different types. If there's any formality, then if they are officially engaged, then we call the fiancé. And then if they legally married, then we call husband and wife. However, if no formality, such as living together, and then even though marriage or even though engagement was not there, but still living together, we call that this is a partnership. And then we call this is a de facto relationship. And then when we call and then other party, we call this like a partner. Some country people come and then if this is a partner, then they are confused of okay, business partner. But partner means for relationship partner. Sometimes if you're a commercial side, a partner means like a business partner. But in the case, in usually for partner means for other party living together without any like a formality such as for engagement or marriage. But partners, they are still like living together, got a relationship, and then still babies there. But like if no marriage is there, then so we call this as a partners. So in New Zealand, for example, for relationship between parents and then the child, and then can be proved through any birth certificate. If no birth certificate is there, then sometimes you can get any help from any scientific way for like some DNA test, and you got a result for DNA match, and then so you can prove, you can say that this is my child, this is my the parent, like you can still do that, can be acceptable. And then I can say more about relationship between partners. I remember that before some of the country they still live together, they still like a partnership, but they didn't get married. So when they apply for a visa process, and then there is some legal marriage status, they still tick as a single. This is no good, and then you can say if you live it together, then so you can declare like some partnership basis, right? And then so for a successful like partnership basis for application, even though for residence, even though like some temporary, and then you have to prove like some two word, means your relationship shall be genuine and then stable. Means for your relationship shall be like some genuine, and then your relationship shall be like a stable. Stable means for from the time of your application is made for at least for active for past 12 months, and your relationship was very safe, stable, or and if you got married recently, or if you got married, I mean your relationship started for very soon, and then the case of also like a C for potentially for next 12 months, your relationship can be stable. Then this is a stable. The assessment criteria will met. So this is depends on your case officer's discretion.
Mr. Ken, I just want to ask, because there's some questions that raising in here with us, and our viewers now is 20 now. We're
Okay.
getting more and more increasing, and they asking about to because they missed the first part that you had explained about the word of the family that they also you already mentioned it, direct family. Can you able to more of repeat to them for what are the family branches that can sponsor for visa holder for like parents, siblings, partners, and children?
Okay. Under the New Zealand parent category policy, and then you can sponsor to your parent, means direct parents, means of your legal parents or adopted parents, then will be fine. And then you can sponsor to your children, like children means for a minor. And then when children, so your direct children or your adopted children can be still a sponsor. And then when you apply for temporary visa, and then there is some age limit for the children. And then if you apply for temporary visa, and then your children can be included until only for 19 years. But when you apply for a residence visa, and then your children can be included until 24 years old. But when your children are over 20 years old and legally they are adult, so you have to prove that you are financially, your children is financially dependent on the parent. So you have to prove, otherwise, then your children cannot be included. Or if your children for adult child got married and cannot be included, shall be single and then financially dependent on the parent. So this is a family category can be sponsored.
Sir, speaking of dependent children, how do you define dependent children for all viewers?
Sorry?
How do we define dependent children?
Okay, so dependent children is for legally children, means for your birth children or your adopted children can be included as the dependent children. And then for, as I told you earlier, then depends on which category you apply, and then there is some age limit, and then some requirements are a little different.
So you mean, sir, for dependent children, how about, is there any criteria for dependent children, like the child is age 17 years old and under and single, or it can be able to be children have their own, and married? Are they still applicable to bring in here in New Zealand?
Okay, some country cultures you can marry earlier, and then some country no, but your children shall be always a single, means no children then can be considered as your dependent children. If your children, even the age limit is for under like 20 years old, if they got married, then cannot be qualified for apply for like a children, like under the family category. Yeah.
Concerning about family who are in relationship, you said mentioned a while ago about legally married, civil union, and de facto. In this case, for New Zealand, they normally consider de facto. But in other country, are they still applicable if they are de facto to come here in New Zealand?
Yeah, even though all the assessment is made based on 4 criteria of New Zealand assessment criteria. So that means that if your relationship is in New Zealand or out of New Zealand, doesn't matter. But if you prove that your relationship is genuine and stable, then still can be included. And that means regardless of your marriage or not, for if your relationship is genuine and stable, then still can be included as or can be qualified for under the family category.
That's very good. So, sir, for those who are our viewers who would like to come in here, they asking me like who cannot support visa for partners independent children. Can you tell us who are those who cannot support visa? What category, sir?
So can you can you make a little clarify, and then as long as you meet the requirement of genuine and stable, then so you can sponsor. If you cannot have proof of your relationship genuine and stable, and then cannot sponsor, this is I can answer for that. Can you give me any other more detailed example or any questions?
Sir, if you're working in a holiday scheme or you are in a supplementary seasonal or you are under the essential skill visa, are they able to sponsor their family
okay.
and children here?
Okay, I got it now. So when you apply for a temporary visa, means for any visa, for temporary visa means for visitor visa, student visa, work visa, and then residence visa is like some permanent residence visa under the family category. When you come to New Zealand for student visa or visitor visa, and then not sometimes you can including for your partner, sometimes you cannot include your partner. If you bring your partner under the student visa, and then under the new policy, and then if you study for master degree or PhD degree, or if you study in for long-term skills shortage area, then so you can bring your partner. Means you can bring your husband, your wife. However, if you study of diploma degree, or if you study for level 7 or 8 diploma, and then you cannot bring your partner. However, if you finish the school courses, then when you apply for job search visa, then in the case you can bring your partner as well. But when you visit in New Zealand, you can equally visit for visitor visa, and then you can show for what is the main reason to visit to New Zealand, or if you provide for all the requirement as a visitor visa, then you can come together. Means this is for like another partnership basis, for this for like each individual apply for visitor visa the process. And also when you apply for work visa, and then it's for essential work visa or open work visa, then you can include for your partner. However, for like study pathway visa, when you finish the study and then when you apply for open work visa, then you can include in your partner. However, if you apply for essential work visa, and then there is some limitations there. If your visa is lower skilled, and then you cannot bring your partner. And then even though if you are middle skill, if you are middle skill, then that's fine. You can bring middle skill, then you can bring your partner, because middle skill has any income threshold. And then that means for if your job is for non-skilled, and then if your salary is like under, just a second, maybe $42,944.20. There's a minimum income threshold. Like a roughly, if your salary is under $43,000, maybe then you cannot bring your family members. For example, if you meet middle skill requirement, but your hourly rate is $20.65 per hour, and then 30 hours basis, this is still you are qualified for apply for middle skill work visa. But in that case, you cannot bring your partner, because $20.65. Then 30-hour base is 52 weeks. This is a total income is less than around $42,944.20. That means if you cannot meet the minimum income threshold for work visa, then you cannot bring your family member or including your wife as well.
So, sir, there's a scenario that questions that we would like to share with you. What if the husband is a resident and is applying for his wife and kids who is older, like their age is 14 and 17 years old? Do they need IELTS to apply? And does it apply to all nationalities or any countries that is exemptions for the applying for IELTS for the family?
Okay, when you apply for like a residence visa under the family category, there is a dependent families for English requirement, and then if you are over 17 years old, you have to provide for English requirement. But this is a little different topic for our family category, but this is still like related, so I can explain to you. And then dependent children or dependent family, and then if any people over 17 years old, they have to prove their English requirement, IELTS 5.0. And then if they are under 17 years old, and then you don't have to prove of your English requirement.
Sir, please hi hello to our viewers in Middle East because my question will be related to them.
Yeah.
So what if based in religions like it's mostly in our viewers in Middle East that the visa holder is a Muslim and have sometimes having they having a 2 or 3 wives which is they are acceptable in their country.
Okay, yeah.
How about that? Do they need to bring them all here in New Zealand?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not talking for any the culture, but in New Zealand, like unfortunately, then you can bring only one partner. So that means I know for some country allowed to get more than one wife, but in New Zealand, if you come to New Zealand, and then so you can bring only one wife as your partner. So other partners cannot come to New Zealand because in New Zealand we only recognize only one partner.
So how about sir for the single mom who just had a relationship and they have a child before, and then this visa holder will sponsor their child on the side or with their girlfriend. Are they also acceptable with this thing, or they can able to apply for visa?
Okay, when you apply for partnership, if there is for 2 parties, right? And then for example, and then for residence visa application, the scenario, and then apply for temporary visa application for scenario. Maybe I can explain to you for the residence visa application scenario. Okay, the sponsor partner is in New Zealand for residence visa holder or like a New Zealand citizen. Their sponsorship eligibility is for they can sponsor only for 2 times in a lifetime to sponsor their partner. And also there is reason, and also when the sponsored partner will apply for the residence visa under the partnership, then that partner can be principal applicant under the partnership. Any children under or for principal applicant can be included in her or his application. That means for if the child is for legally like a biological children and or like any adopted children still qualified for included as the partner of that application under the partnership. And also, if any in the visa application under the partnership means for another temporary visa status, and then principal applicant is for maybe husband or wife, and then if they got some second marriage, and then from first marriage they got their own children, and then means for in this case for stepchildren in both sides still can be included here in this application. Means for example, like for husband is their own children, and then wife is their own children as well. So if the husband apply for work visa, and then husbands for children, and then wife's children also can be included as dependent children. So they can, if they meet the requirement, they can still apply for a visa under the parents.
Sir, may I ask to please kindly greet our viewers here who are keep on watching us in our 6-time Facebook Live
Okay. Yeah.
from the beginning, sir.
Okay. Beginning. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and then Mr. Nala. Okay, I got your comment there. Also, you're from the Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
Okay,
Arabia,
okay.
welcome Saudi Arabia.
Uh-huh.
Keep on watching.
Yeah.
And more, sir. There's more there. So IB low.
Okay. Thank you for today. And then, is there any more questions coming, sir? Okay, this is ERB or okay, you got some question. Can you read a question for me for ERB?
Hello, sir. The questions: what about those who are already and was not affected by the change of policy before we got the essential skill visa, and the visa was previously considered as low skill and was able to get her partner during the last visa? If we renew next year, can the partner still be able to obtain a visa under the worker visa? That's a very good question.
Okay. This is a very tricky case. However, there are not many people who knows this one. This one, just a second, and then arrive in New Zealand policy before essential work visa. Okay. So in the case, two scenarios. Any family member arrive in New Zealand before change of the policy, that is the 28th of August 2017. The dependent family arrived here in New Zealand under the student visa, and then for a skilled, non-skilled or skilled visa category here in New Zealand. Then when they change, or when they new application under the lower skilled, and then technically, if any people apply for under the lower skilled, and then a family member cannot be included. However, there is an exception. If any family member has arrived before policy change, and then when they apply for visa, even though a job is lower skilled, still can be included. But this is for maximum 3 times. Then if you still apply for under the lower skilled, and then as a principal applicant for extended for 3 times, then the principal applicant cannot extend anymore. Then this is a cool down period, and you have to go to your own country. Then family shall be go back to your own country. That means New Zealand is really for humanitarian ground of the country. So any people arrived before policy introduced or policy change, we still respect their status, and then we can still protect them, and then they can still stay with the principal applicant and as a whole family. right? In such a case, the call to us, and then I will help you for all this. Okay, this is almost a time off, and then please like or follow our main page of the Facebook, and then also if you got any questions, then so you can send your email for visa apply and at the cantonlaw.net. So on my back you can see for visa apply. And then thank you so much, and then we can see you next Friday again. Thank you. Bye bye.